This conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning. So let us begin our today's session in which we are going to start working with shell scripting. So first of all, let us try to understand this term shell scripting. What does it mean and how it is helpful in our day-to-day work. First of all, let us try to understand the role of shell, what exactly shell is and where it is useful, right? Let me just log in into a machine. Okay, so let me take you back to the very basic. We have started with the architecture of Unix operating system. So in the first class, we discussed the architecture where we understood that all the operations in your operating system will be performed at hardware level, right? Guys, are you able to listen to me properly, everyone? Kindly confirm. Is my voice audible properly?
Yes, audible.
Yes, okay. So I think, Maruti, that is your side problem. Others are able to hear properly. Okay, so let us understand that this hardware is controlled by one of the very important layer, which is kernel, right? Kernel handles everything in the operating system as we know. It's the heart of the operating system. All kind of operations, whatever it might be, whether it is IO management or process management or device management or file management or memory management, every type of management is handled by kernel only, right? And the problem is kernel only understands binary language. It does not understand your normal human readable language like English or any other language, right? And you see, we as a user comes at the end of the architecture, right? Now the problem is user needs to give instructions to kernel to perform some task. Maybe you want to create partitions or you want to format the partition or you want to increase decrease the size of LV or maybe you want to install the software. Whatever it might be, we need to give instructions to kernel and kernel will perform that task. So the problem is kernel only understand binary language and we understand only human readable language. We don't understand binary language. So here we need some translator who can convert my language to kernels and kernel's language to mine. Now that someone is nothing but your shell. See, shell is an interpreter that would convert user given instructions to kernel and kernel output into human readable language. See, normally what happens is, suppose you want to check the date and time. What is the current date and time in your machine? So you know that we simply run date command, right? And it is showing me what is the current date and time in my machine. So here what happens, user access the shell and on the shell, we will type the command. So shell will evaluate whether this command is correct or not. If it is not correct, it will show error. If it is correct, then it will convert that given instruction into binary and pass that information to kernel. Kernel will then understand what user is asking me to do. User is asking to check the date and time. So kernel will goes to your CMOS battery. See, there is a battery in your motherboard that stores date and time. So it goes to that battery and check what is the date and time. So battery will respond, this is the time, and it will respond back to kernel in binary. So the same information kernel will pass on to shell in binary. Shell will then convert this given instruction or information into human readable, and that would be beneficial by user. So this is how your workflow will be going from user to shell, shell to kernel, kernel to hardware. So all the thing in the system is performed by kernel, and to give instructions to kernel, we need shell. Without shell, you will not be able to communicate with the kernel or perform any task in the system, right? So that is the importance of shell. Shell is an interpreter which converts human readable language into binary instructions and binary information to human readable. That is the most important concept what shell will do. Now, there are many types of shells that are used in Unix environment. More than 13 types of shells are available. But let us discuss few of the topmost shells that are widely used in Unix environment. So what are those? See, it looks like this. If you see the screens on your window, you'll find out that you are taking the shell and typing the command. This command is given to shell. Shell converts the given instructions to binary, zeros and one, and pass on the instruction to kernel, right? This is how it works. Now, as I've told you that there are more than 13 types of shells are available, which are used across Unix environment. Let us understand few topmost shells that are widely used in Unix or Linux operating system. The oldest shell is Bourne shell, which is also called as standard shell, which was introduced by Stephen Bourne for AT&T Bell Lab, the oldest shell you can say. Then his students, what they did, in fact, they reintroduced Bourne shell by adding some great features by calling it Bash, which stands for Born Again Shell, and it was introduced by Brian Fox and Chet Rame. It was done for, I'm sorry, Free Software Foundation. And I hope you remember Free Software Foundation is the reason behind introduction of Linux, right? So actually when Linux was introduced, Bourne shell was introduced inside it, and they have given it for Linux. Then we have C shell, which was introduced by Bill Joy for University of California. Now you see, there is a wrong interpretation. When I say C shell, people think that you can do the whole C programming inside it. That's wrong. See, C shell is only good to run already compiled C programs. You cannot do C programming inside it, but in C environment, you can actually run C programs which you have already compiled and which are ready, kind of thing, right? So to run C programs in Linux or Unix, we use that C shell, and which is only done by developers. So this is not a regular shell which we use. Mostly this is used for developing concept and all. Then we
Hey,
have,
Musab, sorry to disturb you. Did we start the shell scripting? Because initial I missed the part, so just wanted to confirm. Is it the shell scripting?
yes, Sajid,
Uh,
we started shell scripting. I
okay,
thought
okay.
you are from the beginning.
No, I missed the first point.
Well, anyway, so KSH stands for Corn Shell, and it was introduced by David Corn, and it was done for AT&T Bell Lab. See, this Corn Shell was actually introduced for IBM AIX because this AIX people wanted to have a separate shell. They don't wanted to use standard shell or bash. They wanted their own shell. So Corn Shell was introduced. But believe me, Corn Shell is one of the toughest shell to work with. You cannot repeat the previously executed command by up arrow, or you cannot go for left or right by using left arrow, right arrow, and correct the previous command. And moreover, only 100 previously executed command will stored in Corn shell's history. So anyway, one of the toughest shell you will see to work with is Corn shell. And as I told you that I have also worked with IBM AIX, what we used to do, the first thing when we installed IBM AIX in the servers, we used to get bash and we used to install bash shell so that the work may be faster. So anyway, speaking about all those shells, the most advanced and the most widely used and the most user-friendly shell what you can see in today's time is Bash shell. Bash is one of the very prominent shell that is available in Linux, and 99.9% all Linuxes uses Bash only, right? Because it is very easy to work with. You can easily edit previously executed command. You can make corrections in your previously executed command. There are many benefits to work with Bash shell, and moreover, history. It keeps previously executed almost 10,000 previously executed command it can store in its history, right? That is a good inventory what it can maintain, right? Anyway, so the widely used shell in all Linuxes is Bash shell, and we are also going to work under Bash shell. But as far as shell scripting is concerned, the logic is same whether you work on Bash or you work on Corn or you work on standard shell, does not matter because logic is applicable same at almost all the shell. But as the nature of Bash shell is very user friendly, we are preferring to work with Bash shell. Right. Now we understood what is the shell. Let us understood how can I access the shell. See, the moment you log in into the system, you are started to access the shell. The first thing you will get after logging into the system is the shell. If you are not getting a shell, you won't be able to log in also. So you see the moment I type username and password, I got my shell on which I am passing the instructions to kernel. Now suppose I would like to check which shell I am using. See, there are two ways to check the shell. One way is you can say echo dollar $shell. It tells you that you are using bash shell, or you can say echo dollar $0. See, echo dollar $0 will also tell you that you are using bash shell. So there are two ways to find out what is the shell you are using. If you want to see total how many shells are currently installed in this machine, you can read this file etc shells. See, which tells you that you have standard shell, you have bash shell, you have turbo C shell, and you have normal C shell. See, I would request you to ignore these two, USR bin, USR bin. The correct path, which is widely used and workable, is bin. So we will concentrate on bin bash, bin CSH, bin TSH, like that, right? Okay. Now, I would like to change my shell. As I can see, there are many shells. I would like to change the shell. I don't want to use bash shell. I want to use maybe C shell. So how can I invoke any shell. See, you can simply say the shell name. Suppose I want to use C shell, so I'll say CSH. Now, if you just check it out, echo $0, it tells you that right now you are using CSH. Now, maybe if you want to leave it, you can say exit, come back and check it out. You'll find that you are back to bash shell. So this is the way how you can change a shell temporarily. Like when I say CSH, it is a temporary change. That means right now I just changed the shell, and after my work is over, I said exit and I'm back to my previous shell or my default shell. For example, I have this user, my user. So I'd like to check my user is having what default shell. That means every time I log in as my user, which shell I would be getting. See, user information is kept in etc password. So I'm targeting only my user in etc password. So it says that my user will be having a default shell always bash shell. Suppose I want my user to have C shell, always my user login into the system. So to change any user's default shell or to modify any user's attribute, I would go with user mod -s. I want to change the shell to bin csh. For which user? For my user. So now you see, every time you log in with my user, it is guaranteed that you will be getting C shell. Let me show you. I will just take a duplicate session. Let me log in as my user and let me give the password. You see, when I say echo $0, by default, I got C shell. So as a root, you have a power that you can change anyone's default shell. So now every time my user login, my user will be getting C shell. But if my user wants to change a shell, he can. He can simply say bash, and you see the shell got changed to bash. But this is temporary. That means right now you are using bash, but every time the system, sorry, every time you relog in, you will be getting C shell. Suppose my user want to change his default shell again to bash. So as a normal user, guys, if I say user mod, so sorry. As a normal user, if I say user mod, change the shell to bin bash. For which user? For my user. You see, it says permission denied. Because as a normal user, I cannot modify anyone's attributes. See, if a normal user wants to change his or her default shell, then what to do? See, in this scenario, a normal user can run chsh. See, this is the command for a normal user to change his own default shell. So when I say chsh, it asks which shell you want to make as your default. Currently, your default shell is C shell. So I'll say make it bin bash. It asks for the password, give the password. Now, if I say grep, you see, as a normal user, I'm able to change my own default shell. As a root, you can change anybody's shell by default. There is no stopping for you. But as a normal user, if you want to change self default shell, then the command you have to use is chsh, change shell. This will change your default shell. Now, we understood what is this shell. Now let us understood what does the term scripting means. See, scripting is nothing but a plan that you would like to execute. What kind of plan? For example, you want to take backup of certain machines. So according to a plan, you want to go to that server and you want to get the backup and store it on other machine. So this is nothing but a plan. And to do that and to automate that work, we use certain scripts. And basically scripts are nothing but series of commands inside it. In a very simple terminology, I can say that script is nothing but series of commands inside it, that when you run that script one after the other, all commands will be executed, right? I'll give you a very small example, very rough example. Let's say I'll create one file called test.sh. See guys, I'm creating a file as .sh to represent it is a shell script. Basically in Linux, these extensions are not important, not at all important. I'm giving that extension only for my reference. Otherwise, that extension is not required for shell scripting. Please don't think that .sh has anything to do with shell scripting. It is only for our reference. Now, in this file, I'm going to store certain commands. For example, I would like to store a command called who am I. Next command, I would like to run w. Next command, I would like to run date. Next command, I would like to run pwd. Next command, I would like to run uptime. So you see what I did. I simply kept 5 commands in a file. Now let me save and quit. Let me try to run this file. Suppose I'm talking this as a script, so I would like to run the script. Now the question is, how can I run a script? Guys, the most common way to run the script is dot slash and the file name test.sh. But you see it is telling you that permission is denied. Now 99.9% first timers will definitely get this error, and let us find out the reason why it is telling like that. See, when I check the permissions of test.sh, there is no execute permission given, neither for user nor for group nor for others. See, remember this point, that whenever you want to run a script, the script should have execute permission. That is the standard practice. So let me apply execute permission for everyone by. So I'll say chmod plus x, on which file test.sh. Plus x means I want to give execute permission for users, for groups, and for others. So all levels I have given execute permission. Now just read this file cat, which contains 5 commands. Now when I run the script ./test.sh, you see one after the other, all commands have been executed. First it has executed who am I, then it has executed w command, right? Then it has executed date command, then it has executed pwd command, and finally uptime command. So this is nothing but a script. So in a script, I kept some commands, and when I executed the script, all commands one after the other got executed. But this script does not have any proper logic. When you add some meaningful logic to it, what to do, how to do, and how to achieve that particular concept, when you apply all these logics into the script, then the script become very useful. As of now, such scripts are not at all useful. I am executing and it is printing something, right? So that's what scripting is all about. Running particular tasks, complicated tasks or very simple tasks with the help of script by adding some proper logics into it and getting your work done. right? Suppose you want to check health of your system, or you wanted to check health of 10 machines, right? If I go and check the health of every machine manually, it is going to take long time. So to automate my work, I'll create a script and I'll put the addresses of the machine where I have to go and perform this task. So when I run the script will go to all 10 machines and gather that information for you in a very small period of time. So scripting is something that we do for automating your work to reduce the load of manual work what we are trying to do, right? And this scripting is useful in our day-to-day concepts of system administrators, or if you go for DevOps, right? Maybe you are going with Chef, Puppet, Ansible, SaltStack, whatever it might be. Even in that, we would be using scripting to perform our work or to automate your work. Slowly and steadily, we will talk more and more about it, and you will get a clear picture exactly how scripts are going to help. This is just a mere introduction what I'm trying to explain you regarding this. Let us move ahead and let us see the next concept. See guys, to work with shell scripting, we should know how to get help. This is really important. You should know any commands whichever you are running. If you stuck anywhere, how to get more information about it. Guys, you can use help option. You can go with man command, and you can also go with info command. So this help, man, and info will give you more information about a command which you can find out, and you can actually try to get the options what you are looking for. And you should also know the characters of a file by seeing that if a file start with hyphen, it's a regular file. L means symbolic link, C for character special file. We have all done this in our basics. And you should also know how to change file permissions, right? Just now we did the file permission concept. So let us move on very quickly to our first concept, which is shebang. Just give me 1 minute. I'll be back. Then we will start talking on shebang. Okay, guys. So what is that shebang? Guys, in the first line of your script, normally you will see this kinds of statements. Hash, exclamation, bin bash, if it is a bash shell script. If it is a Perl script, you'll see usr bin Perl. If it is a Python script, you'll see usr bin Python. So what is this line, and how it is helping me? See guys, by default in our shell scripting, there is a small issue called compatibility issue. That means the script that you have created under bash shell may not work the same way in C shell, or in turbo C shell, or maybe in Corn shell, or maybe standard shell. So you may face some issues when you are running a bash shell script in other shell because of compatibility issues. So my requirement is, I don't care the user is using which shell. Maybe the user is using C shell or Corn shell or Z shell or any other shell that are supported. But my requirement is, the moment user run my script, his shell should be temporarily changed to bash, and in bash the whole script must get executed, so that The shell script which is created in bash should always run under bash shell only so that the results are proper and you should not face any compatibility issue. So suppose a user is using C shell, but when he execute my script temporarily for a short period of time till the uh, script is executed, I want the shell to be changed to bash. The whole script should get executed, and then again I would be back to my previous shell, right? So this concept is called as shebang. The first line in your script we will add is shebang line or interpreter line. Interpreter line means I'm instructing the script to use this shell to run my script, right? So this is how your script would run under the proper environment in which you have created the script. So we are going to deal with bash shell. So always we will be using the shebang as bash shell interpreter. So which tells my script to always use bash shell to run my script. And this shebang we will always put in first line by using hash and exclamation. See why this hash and exclamation is called as shebang. See guys, hash is also known as sharp and exclamation is also known as bang. So when sharp and bang together comes, it is called as shebang, right? It has deduced from musical notations, guys, right? Especially piano notations or that drum notation. It has been taken from that. So anyway, that is not important. That's the reason it is called as shebang, but the rule is really important. And this concept was introduced by Dennis Ritchie to avoid compatibility issues between uh, the shells or whenever you are writing a script, right? So the first line in every script we will be putting is this shebang line.
So same way I can use it for Python as well, is it?
And Python's also, yes. If you are writing Python script and you want the script to run under Python environment, then you should put the Python's location.
Okay.
So let me create another script over here. Suppose I'm creating script01.sh. The first line we will put is hash exclamation. See, hash followed by exclamation has a special meaning, shebang. Only hash if you are giving, then there is other meaning. Only exclamation you are using, then there is another meaning, right? So hash and exclamation together is called as shebang. And which shell I want to use, I'm instructing my script that this script should be run under bash environment. So whatever shell you are using, when you run the script will activate bash shell, the script will be performed, and then it will be back to your previous shell, whatever you might be using. Now suppose I would like to print a message. See guys, to print a message, we use a command called echo. Like in C programming, you have printf. Similar to it, you have echo to print a message. Suppose I would like to give a message like my first script. Now let me save and quit. Now again, if you want to execute the script, you must add execute permission to this file, which is not there. Let me apply. I'll say chmod plus x script01.sh. So you see I got execute permission. When I run the script now, script01.sh, you see it is printing that message what we have kept inside it. So this script was very simple script to print a message, right? So this is how you can write a script, and at the first you can add the shebang statement to make sure the script runs under bash shell. Now next thing is comment. Now what is that word comment and how it is helping us? See guys, one thing is very clear. that in an organization, when we create some useful scripts, those scripts may be used by many people. People who have good knowledge of scripting or people who have less knowledge of scripting. So maybe who has a very vast knowledge in scripting, you don't have to explain what the steps are doing in the script. But for people who does not have high knowledge of scripting, and when they are using the script, I can explain the steps in my script. I can give some instructions in the script or explain the script that what the script is doing, or in the script what a specific portion is doing. So comments are the best way to explain the script when people are trying to read it, right? So whenever a line you start with hash, that is called as comment. But please don't think that the first line hash exclamation also means comment. No. Hash and exclamation, I told you, it has a different meaning. It is not called as comment. When you start a line only with hash, then only it is called as comment or an inactive line that you have kept only for reading purpose. For example, I would like to create one more script, and in that script I would like to explain something for my users. Suppose I'll create script2.sh. See guys, first line always I'll say hash exclamation bin bash. See, this line is also starting with hash, but it is not a comment because it is followed by exclamation. Now if I want to add a comment, I'll say hash. Suppose I would like to explain what the script is going to do. So let us say I'll say script to print messages. Maybe I want to add some more information. Who is the author? Suppose I'd like to say Musab is the author. Suppose you want to give one more information like what is the version of the script. I'll say it is 1.0. Or maybe you want to also explain at what date the script you have created. Suppose I'd like to say 0603 2000 2020, right? Like that, I want to give some information. So whichever line I have started with hash, this is only for reading purpose. When you open the file and read, these informations are available. But when you execute the script, none of those line with hash will make any impact on your script, right? Suppose I would like to print a message now. For example, echo, I'll say my second script. I want to explain this line. Specifically, this line I want to explain. So guys, you can again put a hash and you can say this line prints message. So you see how useful it is to explain your script to others. Whoever might be using, if there is an important instruction like do not change this line or put the username or put the server name you want to make the changes, such types of information if you want to keep in your script, comments are really useful to give instructions or to explain your script how to use it, right? So out of all, only this portion will be executed. Rest of all, whatever we have kept, it is only for reading purpose. When you open, you'll get some information. Otherwise, they will not affect your script in any way. Let me save and quit. Now let me change the permission, chmod plus X. Or one more thing is there, guys. I'm sorry. See, although this script does not have execute permission, so you have to apply execute permission to run this script. Without execute permission, if I go, it will throw error. But as a root, you can still run the scripts without execute permission, right? So if you want to run the script, even though it is not having execute permission as a root, so you can go for a command sh and script02.sh. See, although I haven't given execute permission, sh command is allowing me to run this script. Or you can say bash followed by script. But if you ask me which is the best practice we use in our working culture, the best practice is to go with dot slash only. And this dot slash required you to have execute permission. So let me apply execute permission script02.sh. You can find out that your script is now having execute permission, and now we will run the script. You see, my script is having many things inside it, but the line that is getting affected when I run the script is only the line without hash. All the lines that we kept with hash are only for reading purpose. They would not make any change or effect in my script. So this is what your comments would make a difference in your script. A very helpful concept to explain your script. Let's move on and let us learn another very interesting command called echo. Just now I have explained you that echo command is used for printing a message. Normally out of script also, you can simply run a command on echo, like echo hi. So you see it is just repeating that command and printing on the screen. The same way how printf command will work, printf hi. You see it is also doing the same thing. But echo is much more better than that. So we prefer going with echo command only, echo hi. Suppose guys, with echo, I can do some more interesting things. What is that? See, first thing what you can do with echo is you can use an option echo hyphen n. For what purpose? For no new line after the message. What does this mean? Sorry. So what does this mean, guys? See, normally when I'm running echo hi, it is printing the message, and whatever is next, it is continuing in next line. So my message is printed in one line and the next thing is coming in second line. Sometimes I want to print a message in same line and I want to continue the next activity also in the same line. So if you don't want to take a new line after the message, then you can say echo hyphen n followed by your message. So you see it is printing the message and continuing the next thing in the same line instead of taking a new line. See, as of now, it looks meaningless that what might be the role that printing a message and not taking a new line. But in couple of classes, you will understand the real usage of hyphen n. So just understand and remember that if you don't want to take a new line after the message, the option what you can use is echo minus n. I'll show you the real use case with this hyphen n in the coming time. Next thing what we can do is we can use another option here called echo hyphen e. See, hyphen e stands for enable escape sequence. So what is that enable escape sequence? See, normally whenever we use sub options like slash n slash t, we use these slashes over there. So these slashes is nothing but escape sequence. How to use them? Let me explain you. Suppose there is an option slash n to take new line after the message. See, just now we have learned hyphen n not to take new line. But suppose I want to take new line and print a message, then I can go for slash n. Let me explain you. Suppose I have two messages, echo hi, and I have one more message bye. See, my requirement is I want hi to be printed in one line and bye to be printed in another line. So how can I do that? In this scenario, I will enable escape sequence. I'll first print hi, then I'll say after hi, take new line and print by. So when I hit enter, you see it is not working. And here the reason why it is not working is, remember carefully, listen to me. Whenever you are using whenever you are using hyphen E, always use the next option within double quotes. We'll understand the role of quotes also in a short while, but you see, whenever you are using hyphen E, and if you want to use these options hyphen slash n, then that the option you must mention in double quotes. If you don't use it in double quote, it won't work. But now if you see, you'll see hi is coming in one line and by is coming in second line, right? Same way, suppose I'm creating an employee table where I want employee name, employee ID, employee email address, employee mobile phone number. So between each field, I need some good space. Between employee name and employee ID, I want to add some good space, tab space. So how can I use tab space between two fields? You can go for slash t. Slash t will give you tab space. For example, again I'm going to print echo hyphen e. Same thing, for example, hi, and then I would like to go with by. Now between hi and by, I need some good space horizontally. So I'll say slash t. You see, between hi and by, there is a tab space. If you want double tab, then you can again use slash t twice. Same you can do in n also. So you see, between hi and by, there is a good space that is used over here. So this is the way how you can enable escape sequence, and we can make most of echo command by printing two messages by using a single echo command in two lines, or between two messages you can keep a big tab space, right? Whenever you are going for some table format kind of thing. Now let us make it even more interesting. Sometimes suppose I am running a script, and in that script I want to give a message in colors, guys. For example, I want to give warning in red color, or some message in green color, some message in blue color. So how can I print the output in different colors with echo command? See, in order to use color, we need to go with some color codes that are supported in uh, shells. So guys, there are two types of colors: foreground color and background color. So foreground color series starts with 30 and background color series starts with 40. So what are the colors that I can use? See, we can use black color 30, 40, red color 31, 41, green color 32, 42, yellow color yellow color 33, 43, blue color 34, 44, magenta 35, 45, cyan 36, 46, and white color 37, 47. So these are the colors that are supported to be used either in foreground or background. First we will work with foreground, then we will add background colors also. Now, how can I use this color codes? See, this is the syntax what we have to use. Echo hyphen E, enable color code, then use double quotes compulsorily. And to begin the color or to enable the color, you have to say backslash 033 and open the square bracket, followed by whatever color code you want to use, 30 series, 40 series. And to stop the color code, you have to use M. So M represents that the colors are finished. Now I can print my message, whatever I want to print. Now see, this is the syntax, or you can understand it like a code, right? So
I
this is
can't
how
see the
this,
screen. Sorry.
everyone, you are not able to see the screen.
I can
No,
able to
screen
see,
I'm
sir.
able to see, but the editor,
Yes,
I'm not able to see.
which editor?
The, I mean, console, I'm not able to see the console.
So I'm not using console, I'm using PDF to explain.
Okay.
I think he's pointing to pointer. I think mouse pointer. Is it? You sure? Pointer.
No, console only. I was just trying. I mean, whether he's writing any script, that's what I was trying.
No, I'm not writing anything. I am working on the PDF. I'm explaining the PDF.
Fine.
So as I was telling you that this is the way the code has been designed, and to use the color you have to use this code. There is no proper understanding of that code, but just remember the code, that if you want to use the color, this is the way you have to use it. Let me use a color and print a message in red color. See, if you want to go for red color, then you have to use 31. That is the code number for red foreground color. Let me show you by running a message in red color. See, I'll say echo hyphen E, enable escape sequence, then double quotes compulsorily, then the color code. See, to start color code, you have to use backslash 033 followed by square bracket opening. See, square bracket is open, but it is not closed because it is a code. We have to use the same way. See, I would like to print a message in red color. So I'll say 31. And to stop the color coding, I need to type M, small m. That means color is this much only. I don't want to go beyond that point. Now followed by some message. What message? Anything. For example, my text. So you see the output is coming in red color, but you see that red color has created some problem. What problem? It has converted my prompt also in red color. It is not leaving that color. So after the message is printed, the color is continuing with my prompt, which I don't really want, right? So how can I reset my prompt color back to normal? See, whenever you want to reset your color code back to normal, again you have to say echo hyphen E double quotes backslash 033, open the square bracket, and you need to type a number 0m. 0 means reset my colors. So you see the color is back to regular. See, this is one way of printing the message in color. Now we have another way for doing the same thing. See, if you don't want to remember this number slash 033, we have a shortcut. What is the shortcut? See, instead of 033, you can use another option backslash E, which stands for enabling colors. So either you can go with 033 number, or you can go simply with slash E. So suppose I want to print the same thing in red color, what we did last time. But instead of 033, I can use slash E. See, hyphen E means escape sequence, enable escape sequence. Slash E means enable color. Now when I hit enter, you see the output is coming in red color. And again, if you want to reset it, then one more time you have to use echo hyphen E, then again slash E, open the square bracket 0m. This is resetting. See guys, I don't want to print a message in a color. Then next time again repeat the command for resetting the color. How about printing a message in red color and resetting the color again back to normal? So I can say echo hyphen E double quote slash E square bracket uh, 31M, and I want to print a message, my text. See, after message, I want to come back to my normal colors. So how to reset your colors? You can again use backslash E, open the square bracket, and I will type 0M. So you see, the message is getting printed in red color, but my prompt is not changing to red color. After printing the message, it is resetting the color. Same way, maybe I can try 32M green color. Same way I can try 33M for yellow color. Maybe I can try 34, 35, 36. All colors you can try out over here. So like that, you can print a message and make sure that it is resetting the color every time after printing the message by using 2 times/E. First time to print a message in color and second time to reset the color. Now suppose I would like to print a message in different foreground and different background. So in order to do that, for example, I'll take a example of this file, SDA. You see it is coming in black background and yellow foreground. Maybe I would also like to print a message in black background and yellow foreground. So how can I print a message in two different color? See, if I want to go with yellow foreground, I would use 33. And if you want to use black background, then I can use 40. So I have to use 33 and 40. Two colors I have to use over here, right? Or maybe I want to go with, yes, proper, 33 and 40. Correct, I'm sorry. So I'll use the command like this, echo hyphen E double quote slash E, open the square bracket. See, here I am going to use two different colors. One is yellow foreground and the other one is black background. So yellow foreground means I have to use 33, but I have background also. So whenever you are using two types of colors, you have to separate them by semicolon. So first I'm telling 33 and then I'm going to use 40. Done with color coding. So stop with M. Now I'll say my text. And again, I want to reset the color. So I'll say 0M. Now when I hit enter, you see it is printing the output in black background and yellow foreground. But you see my message in yellow foreground is little dull and that SDA is little brighter. See, I also want to print the output in bold colors. So if you want to use bold colors over here, then there is few more options like 0 for resetting the colors, 1 to print the output in bold colors, 4 for underline colors. For example, if I want bold, then I will add one more option here, 1 semicolon 33 40. That means in bold colors, I want foreground 33 and background 40. You see, this time it is coming little bold. Suppose I want to print a message, simply underline, that's it. So I can say echo hyphen E, enable the color code. See, I want a message to be printed in red color, but in underlined manner. So I'll say 4, which is for underline, and I want red color 31M. What message? Maybe my text. Then again, I want to reset the color code, so I'll use 0M. Now when I hit enter, you see it is printing the message in underlined word, but it is little lighter. Now if you want to go little bold this time, so I'll say one semicolon. You see it might be coming little bolder, but this underline is little dull in my terminal. But anyway, it is coming underlined. All right, this is the way how we can use this different options, and you can print a message in different colors. Now guys, it is really tough to remember these color codes, right? Which code means what? Every time you may not be carrying that PDF with you to remember. So guys, the best way to find out which number will give you which code is to go with man pages. Always the best solution. See, to find out the console codes for colors, you can go for man console underscore codes. See, when you read this particular file, it will explain you that which number will give you what code. So at least if I can remember this man pages, there is no need for me to remember the numbers always. I can find out through this man page. It's a big page. Now I'm using page down button to scroll quickly to down. So let me say page down, page down, page down, page down. Okay, over here I got. Now you see here it is telling you 0 to reset all attributes, 1 to print bold, 2 is something, 4 underscore. Similarly, if I go below, you see 30 set black foreground, red foreground, green foreground, 40 black background, red background, green background. There are many more colors, guys. You can try whatever you want, right? So this is the way how you can find out the codes that is belonging to different colors, right? So I want you to practice this much stuff, guys, at least today, the basics. Then in the next class, we will try to continue with more important options.